Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing another ranking of the albums. First episode we did Megadeth, and this episode we are actually going to do Iron Maiden. Kind of sticking to classic metal bands so far, but really they have the biggest discographies, so I mean, I haven't really talked much about Iron Maiden on the channel yet. So I don't even remember if Bruce Dickinson was even. No, I think he was a part of the vocalist tier list. He was a part of that one. So today we are, like I said, reviewing and ranking the albums. For Megadeth, I did more of almost like a band history retrospective, but I don't really think I'm gonna do that for Iron Maiden at all because they've had a lot less lineup changes than Megadeth has, and the ones that I do know I will obviously point out because they are important. But I have Spotify up on a window that you can't see, so that way I can refer to all the tracks, and well, they have a lot of albums. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 albums released between 1980 and 2021. That's fucking nuts. That is crazy. So I guess we'll just start right from the beginning. Iron Maiden, self-titled debut album. It came out the same day as British Steel by Judas Priest, which is a pretty interesting fact, and it's a pretty good album. It's a pretty good first effort. A lot of really great songs on here. Paul Di'Anno was the singer on the first two Maiden records, not Bruce Dickinson, and he has a good voice on these records. I like it. Prowler, I really enjoy it. It's a really underrated song in my opinion. It opens the album. Remember Tomorrow is pretty decent. Running Free, it's all right. It's not amazing, but it's fine. Phantom of the Opera is like their first epic song that they've ever done. I mean, it's cool. Obviously the classic song Iron Maiden, it's the song Iron Maiden by the band Iron Maiden off the album Iron Maiden. So I think I had it higher on my original ranking. I think I had it an A, but I think it's more of a B tier record. And I'm not playing any music from these guys because I know I will get copyright stricken to hell. So I'd like to keep my YouTube channel. So so here we have my first hot take. I'm really not a huge fan of Killers, the next album. It's just kind of alright. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know. It's just kind of exists, I guess. Wrathchild's a great song, probably one of my favorites. Well, it's definitely my favorite song on the album, but Murders in the Rue Morgue's not bad either, but honestly, I'm looking at the track list right now, and I just don't really remember many of these songs. So I think it's not bad. So I think C is pretty fair for Killers, in my opinion. But after this album, obviously Paul Di'Anno exited the band. I can't remember if he was fired or if he left. I don't remember. But in 1982, we've got Number of the Beast, the first album with Bruce Dickinson, and oh my lord, is this album incredible. I mean, you probably already knew that, but it's a metal classic for a reason. And also, I forgot to mention this before, but for these albums, yes, I did listen to the remastered versions, particularly the ones from 2015, because I think those are the most recent. I mean, I like them. I think they sound pretty good. Usually I'm not too big of a fan of remastered albums, mostly because with some bands they just get remastered all the fucking time, like Black Sabbath, or the ones that do get remastered they don't do the best job with, like Megadeth. But yeah, Number of the Beast, fucking classic album. It's our first S tier. I actually have a CD copy of it right here. next to me as decoration. Invaders. I even like the two songs that people kind of pick on from this album, Invaders and Gangland. They're not incredible songs, but they're still good. They're definitely not like worthy of skipping, I guess. Children of the Damned is great. The Prisoner's super underrated. Obviously the title track, Run to the Hills, epic closer, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Just all bangers, really. Even my least favorite song on this album, which is probably maybe 22 Acacia Avenue. I don't know. I'd have to listen to this album again, but it's great. Not a bad song on this one. So yeah, it's definitely deserving of the S tier. Now, another hot take, Peace of Mind. It's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like Killers, except Peace of Mind is much better. I will say, Peace of Mind, I would say, is nearly the definition of a front-loaded album. The first, I'd say, 5 songs on this album, Where Eagles Dare, Revelations, Flight of Icarus, Die With Your Boots On, and of course the band's signature song, The Trooper. Those are the first 5 songs on the record, and they're all bangers. They're all fantastic songs. But after that, just it drops in quality, but it doesn't go to like bad territory. I wouldn't say any of these songs. Still Life, Quest for Fire, Sun and Steel, Entertainment Land. They're not bad songs. They're just not as good as the first half of the album. And so I think we're also going to put Peace of Mind in the B tier. Power Slave is the next one. And it is also a very great album. One that I take a particular liking to. But reminiscing on it, looking back on it, I originally had it in S tier. But I'm thinking it's not that good. I don't think it's as good as Number of the Beast. Obviously, we've got insanely good songs like Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, the title track, of course the 13-minute epic Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, probably one of my favorite, it's definitely one of my favorite long songs that Maiden has done, in my opinion. But, yeah, it's just, Lost for Words, I remember that's an instrumental song. Kind of has a similar riff to Wasted Years, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't really remember many of these songs. Flash of the Blade, Duelist, Back in the Village. Yeah, I think A tier is pretty fair for Power Slave. I'm not saying it's a bad album, obviously, because it's A tier. It's still very good. But yeah, really only a couple of songs I really go back to. And so next up we have Somewhere in Time from '86. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't been saying the release years for these. Iron Maiden came out in 1980, Killers in 1981, Number of the Beast in 82, Peace of Mind in 83, and Power Slave in 84. So, I'm just doing studio albums, so Live After Death, which came out in 85, is not going to be here. But we got Somewhere in Time in 86, and again, much like Power Slave, it's a good album. I quite enjoy it. There's some good songs on here. Wasted Years, obviously. Stranger in a Strange Land, Alexander the Great. But even some more underrated songs like Sea of Madness, Deja Vu, The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, the title track. Yeah, this is a pretty solid record. I think A tier is also pretty deserving. Again, I had it in S tier originally, but I had like half of the albums in S tier. So, yeah, it's really not that good, but it's still a good album, obviously. Maiden are usually pretty consistent in their quality, especially during this 80s run. And so I think we've got ourselves another S tier on our hands. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Whenever I originally did the Iron Maiden discography listen, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son was my favorite out of all these, but I don't know. I feel like I like Number of the Beast more. And I wouldn't say there's really a specific reason. I don't know. I feel like they're very close. because I'm looking at the track list. I mean, Moonchild bangs. Can I Play with Madness is amazing. Evil Man 2. The title track, I even like it. It's a bit longer of a song, but I like it still. The Clairvoyant, Only the Good Die Young. This is another banger, so it definitely deserving of S tier. Also, I feel like I like these albums about the same, which I mean, it's kind of the point of all these particular rankings. I kind of like all these albums in each of these tiers the same. And so in 1990, I believe we've got No Prayer for the Dying. And the Seventh Son of a Seventh Son came out in 88, by the way. I keep forgetting to say what the release years, although if you're a Maiden fan, you probably already know. And No Prayer for the Dying it's okay. It's not great, but it's fine, I guess. Tail Gunner's a pretty good opener. Holy Smoke is decent. Run Silent, Run Deep is pretty underrated. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter is good. Hooks and You's alright. And I don't really remember many of the other songs on the album. I think so far I'm thinking B or C might be it. I'm thinking C to kind of round out the list, because yeah, I wouldn't say it's as good as the self-titled album or Peace of Mind. So we've got Fear of the Dark from '92, and I feel like this is another album that is just kind of alright. Be Quick or Be Dead is a great opener. Afraid to Shoot Strangers is a pretty good epic song. The title track obviously is incredible, one of the best songs that Iron Maiden has ever done, but the rest of the album, Wasting Love's fine, I guess. But yeah, I don't really remember really like any of the songs on this album. I kind of feel bad because part of me is not like doing like I mean, I shouldn't say an objective review because music isn't an objective thing. But I feel like my memory has been kind of. But I don't know. I feel like part of that speaks to the quality of these albums is that I don't really remember if they're that good or not. And I'm thinking Fear of the Dark's another C. It's not terrible, obviously, because it's Iron Maiden, but it's just not that great in my opinion. So now Bruce Dickinson's gone for a little bit. And we've got 2 albums with Blaze Bayley as the lead vocalist. So the first album of the 2, we've got The X Factor from '95. And wow, I actually don't have any of the songs on this album liked on Spotify. That's interesting. But that really speaks to the quality of the album. Sign of the Cross is a good opener. Again, another good long song. It's 11 minutes long. But yeah, after that, it just kind of just bleh. That's really all I can say about the X Factor. It's bleh. There's definitely way too many songs. It's too long, and and it's not Blaze Bayley's fault. Like, he's not a bad vocalist by any stretch of the imagination. He's not bad at all. You know, it's just everything surrounding him is just not that great. So yeah, I think we're gonna go with D tier, and that brings us to the second album, Virtual 11. Now, a lot of people really hate this one. I actually don't mind it. Like, there's actually some pretty good songs on this album. I'll be honest. Future Real's a good opener. It's a bit short of a song, but from what I remember, The Angel and the Gambler, it's fine. The Klansman obviously is a pretty popular song. Has 13 million plays on Spotify. Klansman is like the one song that people remember enjoying. I like Don't Look to the Eyes of a Stranger. It's a decent song, even though the main riff is basically just Heart-Shaped Box by Nirvana. Like, no, seriously, listen to it. You'll be like, what the fuck? But yeah, I think we're also gonna have to put Virtual 11 in D tier, because it's just, again, I think it's better than the X Factor, but it's still not but I mean, that's not a very high bar to pass. But then, of course, Bruce Dickinson joined back, and in 2000 we got Brave New World, and that album fucking slaps. It's great. Wicker Man, Ghost of the Navigator, Blood Brothers, The Mercenary, Brave New World. Yeah, this album is good. It's quite good. Out of the Silent Planet. I kind of remember that one. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking A tier for Brave New World. I originally had it in S tier. I might have to re-listen to it, but but right now I'm thinking A tier is pretty good. You know, it's not bad. And then we got Dance of Death in 2003, and really, this album is just kind of eh. It's just really not great. The good songs on here are good. Rainmaker is pretty decent. Montsegur is not bad. Passiondale, obviously, I think is the fan favorite because it has the most streams. Or does it have the most streams? Yeah, it has more. Rainmaker is pretty close, but yeah, it's pretty just kind of bland, and I don't really remember a whole lot of this album, which I feel like speaks to the quality, and also the cover art is pretty awful. I remember seeing an alternate artwork where it's just Eddie as the Grim Reaper, where it's just him, and that album actually, that art is actually pretty cool. But yeah, I think we're gonna go with. You know, we'll put it in D as well. It's just out of all the modern era Maiden albums, it's for sure the worst. It's just not very memorable at all. But we've got A Matter of Life and Death. Now, I actually quite like this album. Again, I don't love every song on this album. I don't think there's any Iron Maiden album where I do love every single song. Even Number of the Beast, which is probably my favorite album out of all of them, and even 77077. I'm not a huge fan of every single track. You know, because Invaders and Gangland exist, but they're not bad. But, you know, that's just kind of how it is with most albums. I feel like there's not many albums where every single song is incredible. You know, even Trivium, my favorite band, you know, I don't love every song on really most of their albums. There are at least one or two that I'm not like too wild about, but that's that is. But bring it back to Iron Maiden, A Matter of Life and Death came out in 2006. Different World, These Colors Don't Run, Brighter Than 1,000 Suns, Reincarnation of Benjamin Bree, For the Greater Good of God. Yeah, this is a very good album. Again, don't love every song, but that's with every Maiden album. And I think we're gonna go with A tier on A Matter of Life and Death. It's quite enjoyable. Now we've got The Final Frontier in 2010, and it's good. It's not bad. I like Satellite 15, the first song on the album, almost 9 minutes long, and it's pretty good. That's kind of the thing with and honestly, I think that's really the problem with this album, is that most of the songs are way too fucking long. Like I'm just looking here. The shortest song is The Alchemist, and it's only 4.5 minutes long. But the rest of the album, 8, 9 minutes long, 7 minutes long, 9 minutes, 8 minutes. When the Wild Wind Blows, probably, yeah, it's definitely my favorite song on the album. It's 11 minutes long. And it's really, I mean, El Dorado's not bad, and Coming Home is a decent ballad. I don't know why I have it like. It's enjoyable. I like it. But yeah, When the Wild Wind Blows is a phenomenal song. So I think we're gonna put The Final Frontier, I think, in B tier, because yeah, it's not that bad. I think that the good songs really save it, in my opinion, because I don't think it's as bad as. I think it's better than the albums I have here in C, but. And so now we've got the two most recent ones. We've got The Book of Souls in 2015, and I actually really enjoyed this album, like quite a lot. I'm actually realizing on Spotify on desktop it shows the 2 discs. That's actually pretty cool. If Eternity Should Fail, Speed of Light, Those are great songs. The Red and the Black is a really cool song. It's really long too, but you know, that's with every Maiden album now. Death or Glory, Tears of a Clown, which is actually dedicated to Robin Williams. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot bad to say about the song. It has Empire of the Clouds, which is Iron Maiden's longest song ever at 18 minutes long. That's pretty fucking crazy. But yeah, I like the Book of Souls. I think overall, I think we're gonna put it in B. I think B is pretty fair. And then we've got I don't know. It's kind of between here because when it gets good, it's really good. But there are some songs I just don't remember. So I think B is fair for the Book of Souls. And so we've got Senjutsu, the most recent album that came out last year. And I like it. I think it's got some pretty good songs. We've got really the first disc is really what saves it, I think. We got the title track, Stratejo, The Writing on the Wall, which is the lead single, which I actually really like. I didn't realize Lost in a Lost World was almost 10 minutes long. Holy shit. I thought that song was a lot longer. Or a lot shorter, I meant to say. I don't know. All these song lengths just start to bleed together. Days of Future Past isn't bad. The Time Machine's pretty cool. But yeah, the last 4 songs are just... Really, I thought Darkest Hour was a lot longer. It's Spotify saying it's 7 minutes and 20 seconds. I thought all these songs were really long, but I guess not. Which is why it was split into 2 discs for the physical release, and obviously a triple LP for the vinyl. But yeah, just from what I remember, Death of the Celts is probably the best long song, like really long song. But yeah, I would say overall it's a pretty good album. I think A is fair. So yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good list. You know, there's a lot of albums, and so it's kind of difficult to really say like it's hard to remember everything because there's so much of it. But I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, a band that's been around as long as Iron Maiden, you know, they've done a lot of great stuff and a lot of not so great stuff. But again, that kind of just comes with every band, you know. So I hope you enjoyed the ranking. If you disagree with me, please be nice about it and leave a comment. If you agree, if you disagree, how you would rank the albums, whatever, you know, just keep it civil. That's all I really ask. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.